It's a right jab, a left hook, and an uppercut. It's Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, where you'll get a chance to compete against boxers from around the globe. Punch your way through 13 bouts in a minor, major, and world circuit against tough contestants like Piston Honda, Glass Joe, Super Macho Man, and many, many more. Defeat all your opponents and meet the ultimate challenge against the world heavyweight champion Mike Tyson in the greatest fight of all, the Dream Bout. Knock out Tyson and you can become the WVBA, World Video Boxing Association, champ. First of all, Glass Joe, what the hell are you doing in that list? Second of all, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, Nintendo, 1987. Not to be confused with Punch-Out, even though they're the same game. Just one doesn't feature Mike Tyson. So let's talk about this. Punch-Out, originally released as Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, is a boxing sports fighting video game. Who would have thought? Developed and published by Nintendo in 1987. It is a port of both the Punch-Out and Super Punch-Out arcade games with some variations. It has consistently been ranked among the best games released for the NES platform, and our good buddy Mario even makes an appearance as the game's referee. Genyo Takeda, who produced the Punch-Out arcade games, directed the NES version. Because the NES was not as powerful as the arcade hardware, Takeda and his crew realized that it would be impossible for the NES port to faithfully emulate the arcade graphics. Instead of making the playable boxer wireframed or transparent, they decided to shrink the playable boxer so that players could easily see opponents over his head. Though the arcade's playable boxer did not have an official name, he was referred to as Little Mac because of his small stature and the Mac part being a play on the popular McDonald's hamburger. The Big Mac. See? Want to see what they did there? Big Mac, Little Mac. Anyway, other things added to the NES version that the arcade version lacked were a rough plot, background music track that played during fights, animated cutscenes, and a password system for saving progress. Around the time the Gold version was released, Nintendo of America's founder and former president, Minoru Arakawa, attended a boxing match featuring future heavyweight champion Mike Tyson. While watching the boxer fight, Arakawa became so astonished with the athlete's power and skill, he was inspired to use the athlete's name and likeness in the upcoming port of Punch-Out series to help the game sell well. Tyson was rumored to have been paid $50,000 for a 3-year period for his likeness. This was something of a chance for Nintendo, as it occurred before Tyson won actually the World Boxing Council Heavyweight Championship from Trevor Berbick. Right. In 1986. Punch-Out features a little-known boxer named Little Mac working his way up through the professional boxing circuits, facing a series of colorful fictional boxers, leading to a final fight with real-life boxer and then world heavyweight champion Mike Tyson, who was replaced with Mr. Dream in the later version. Little Mac has a limited repertoire compared to his opponents. His punches are limited to left and right jabs, left and right body blows, and an uppercut. The uppercut can only be used once the player earns a star, which is typically accomplished by counterpunching the opponent directly before or after certain attacks are launched. We can acquire up to 3 stars. To perform the uppercut, we press the start button. For defense, we can dodge left, dodge right, duck, and block. Little Mac has a heart meter, which decreases by 3 upon being struck by an opponent, and 1 by blocking an attack or the opponent blocking or dodging our attack. When the heart meter decreases to 0, Little Mac turns pink and appears exhausted, leaving the player unable to attack, but still able to defend. At this point, Mac can regain hearts by avoiding opponents' punches. A bout can end by knockout if a fighter is unable to get up within 10 seconds, or by technical knockout if a fighter is knocked down 3 times in 1 round, or by decision. That is, if the bout lasts 3 full rounds without a clear winner. In order to win by decision, the player must accumulate a high enough point total by punching an opponent and or knocking him down. However, some bouts cannot be won in this manner and will automatically result in a loss for the player if the opponent is not knocked down. When Little Mac loses his first bout to a ranked opponent, he will have a chance of a rematch. However, if he loses a title bout, he will fall 1 or more places in the ranking. Losing a rematch causes him to fall 1 place unless he's already at the bottom of the circuit, forcing him to fight his way back up. A third loss, not necessarily a consecutive one though, ends the game. The exception is the final fight against Mike Tyson or Mr. Dream. A loss to them automatically results in a game over. Many of the character sprites are actually used twice. They just change the head, colors, and unique special moves performed. Before the release of Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, Nintendo released the game in a gold-colored Famicom cart simply titled Punch-Out in Japan without Mike Tyson in it, as a prize for the Golf US Course Famicom tournament. This version's final boxer was Super Macho Man, who was also the final boxer in Super Punch-Out, the arcade game. When Mike Tyson's Punch-Out sold well in America, Nintendo released the Mike Tyson version in Japan. After Nintendo's license to use Mike Tyson as a special Punch-Out character expired, Nintendo replaced Tyson with a fictional character called Mr. Dream and re-released the game in North America as simply Punch-Out. That version was released on the 3DS Virtual Console in Japan in 2012, as with Europe and North America also. Along with several titles by Nintendo, Punch-Out was later ported to several other platforms in Nintendo media. In Animal Crossing for the GameCube, it was one of the rarer unlockable NES games one could acquire within the game. It was also released through the Virtual Console on the Wii in 2007 to Europe and Australia, and in Japan and North America slightly later. During that release, reports have surfaced stating that when the game is played on a progressive scan, the Virtual Console version of Punch-Out suffers from a lag in controls, which significantly raises the difficulty level compared to the other versions. The Japanese Famicom version was released for the 3DS Virtual Console in February 2012, making the first Famicom game that was not part of the Ambassador program. Nintendo later re-released the Game & Watch game Boxing, retitled as Punch-Out, to promote the Punch-Out release. What can you say, viewers? Fantastic game, excellent music. All of the Punch-Out games have been great. If you have not played it, find it, play it.